I need to confess something cringeworthy that I did back in the day and I see other PMs doing now. Many years ago, I was a project manager who had a go-to excuse when I didn't have the information I needed. That excuse? Well, the system's too complicated. I can't get the data. Well, picture this. I'm working as a PM and we're using a massive ERP system that honestly was complicated. It was hundreds or thousands of screens, endless drop-down menus, counterintuitive workflows. This is back in the day when words like UX and UI just didn't exist. But here's the thing. I'd been using it for 4 or 5 months, and I was still playing the I don't know how to use this software card when, for example, billing came around. Month after month, the billing manager would ask me for my project schedules, my revenue forecasts, my time allocations, and I would just give her the same response. Hey, can we jump on a call? The system's so complicated, I just need help to figure it out. What I was really saying is I haven't bothered to learn this properly, so I have no visibility as to my projects. The billing manager, let's just call her Sarah, she was incredibly patient. She'd walk me through everything. She'd help me analyze my projects and tell me what I could and should bill. And I'd thank her profusely and promise, well, I'll figure it out next time. But next time came and it was the same story, same excuse, same call. But here's what I didn't realize. Every time I'd use that excuse, I was making Sarah do my job, looking totally incompetent in front of senior management, losing the respect of my team, and worst of all, not actually seeing my project's financial health. 4 months later, the same conversation was about to happen. I reached out to Sarah asking if we could run through the billing together because the system was still too complicated. But this time, Sarah's response was different. She agreed to the call, but that was great. But when we got on it, it was completely different. She asked me a simple question. How is it that you still don't understand the system 4 months after we went through this? Well, I kind of froze. I was kind of taken aback because the truth is she was right. Maybe the system was too complicated, but the truth is I just hadn't tried to master it. I'd taken the easy route by having someone else do the thinking for me. And here's the brutal part. When Sarah called me out, I quickly switched gears and tried to do it myself on the call. And of course I struggled because you know what I discovered? I wasn't just bad at the software, I was bad at knowing my projects. I was just not managing my projects properly. The software wasn't the problem, I was the problem. That call was really embarrassing and it gives me shivers when I think about it now. But it was also completely necessary. After we hung up, I did something I should have done 4 months earlier. I blocked out 3 hours in my calendar and learned the damn system. I went through every menu, watched all the training videos, built test projects in the test environment, took notes, and made cheat sheets. And here's what I discovered. Once I actually invested the time, the system wasn't that complicated after all. More importantly, learning the system forced me to get intimate with my projects, to know my numbers, to understand my team's capacity, to track commitments properly. The software wasn't keeping me from being a good PM, but using the software as an excuse was keeping me from being a good PM. Here's why I'm telling you this embarrassing story. I see this pattern consistently in project managers. In fact, I saw a seasoned project manager doing the same only a couple of months ago. Different excuses, same problem. The tool is too complicated. We don't have the right software. The system doesn't do what we need. I'm waiting for IT to fix it before we can do blah, blah, blah. And look, sometimes these are legitimate complaints, but sometimes your tools are inadequate. Sometimes the software is poorly designed. But even if that's true, that's just an excuse. You're using the tools as a smokescreen for something else. Usually you're just not on top of your projects and you don't want anyone to know it. Here's the reality. As a 21st century project manager, you absolutely must dominate the software you use to manage your projects. No excuses. Your job is to master the software, not just use it, master it. Because here's what mastery actually means. You know where every piece of project data lives. You can generate reports without any help. You can train anyone on how to use it. You understand its limitations and you can work around them. And you can speak intelligently about what it can and can't do. The tools don't manage the project. You manage the project. The tools just make you more or less efficient. That moment with Sarah changed my entire project approach to project management. Before, I was just a PM who managed projects. But afterwards, I became a PM who owned the projects. And there is a world of difference between those two things. When you own your tools, you own your data. When you own the data, you own the narrative. And when you own the narrative, you control the conversation with stakeholders, clients, and leadership. But when you're constantly making excuses about your tools, everyone knows you're not in control. They might not say it out loud, but they know. So here's my challenge to you. What are you currently using as an excuse? Or what tool are you currently using as an excuse? And what's the real issue that you're avoiding? And what would it take to master that tool this week? Because I can guarantee the problem isn't the software, it's the accountability. That embarrassing call with Sarah years and years ago was the best thing that ever happened in my career because it forced me to stop hiding behind excuses and start owning my work. And if you're currently using the system is complicated as your safety blanket, trust me, learn the system, master it, own it. Your future will thank you. Drop a comment. What's your software excuse? Be honest, this is a judgment-free zone. We've all been there. And if you want to hear more confessions from someone who's had or made plenty of PM mistakes and seen many, many more, subscribe because there are plenty more to where this came from.